Accra. Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umar Rusanda Amadou. Tonight, I'm here with
Accra Archery.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
All licenses issued by the Precious Minerals Marketing Company, PMMC, or the minister responsible for mines to a person other than a large-scale mining company to deal in gold have ceased to be valid.
Government to revoke licenses of all small-scale and artisanal miners who have been into the business of selling and assaying gold. We'll be hearing more on the reasoning from the government. Also coming up, the demand for indigenes as DCEs keeps growing in many parts of the country as government works to confirm nominations of MMDCEs. And later on Eyewitness News, as Boku turns even bloodier, the regional minister is rejecting calls for a state of emergency. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
government rejects Goldfields demand lease renewal.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations. In the mining town of Takwa, we are on Adrenpa 100.7 FM. We are in Takrady on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM. We are in Sunyani on Greener 95.9 FM. We are in Kawiye on Adrenpa 99.9 FM. We are in Hohwe on Heritage 107.3 FM. In Sogakopa, we are on Freedom 88.1 FM. In Saboba, we are on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM. In Garu, we are on Quality 88.7 FM. We are in Nalerugu on Nobia 98.1 FM. We are also live on YouTube and live on Facebook. We are interactive. Join us with your messages on WhatsApp 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. You can also go on Twitter, now known as X, and send me your messages by mentioning me at Umar Rusanda or at Citi973. Do add the hashtag Eyewitness News when you send your messages. Eyewitness News is live on 97.3 Citi FM broadcasting from Accra, Ghana. I am Umar Rusanda Amadou here with Accra Archery, who has our first story. Kosia.
Now, the Ghana Gold Board has announced that all existing gold trading licenses issued by the Precious Minerals Marketing Company, PMMC, or the Minister for Mines, except those held by large-scale mining companies, are no longer valid. In a statement issued by Gold Board today, this new directive is grounded in the Ghana Gold Board Act 1140, passed by Parliament on Tuesday, March 29 this year, and also assented to by the President on Wednesday, April 2, 2025. Now, according to Gold Board, individuals or companies holding licenses from the PMMC or the Minister may continue their operations until April 30, 2025.
So the Gold Board is a new creation, is a creation by this government to deal with a number of issues in the gold sector, the mining sector. And you've just seen the communication or summary of the communication, which is issued and signed on the letterhead of Gold Board, which is Ghana Gold Board, and is signed by Prince Kwame Minka, the media relations officer of the company. Now, the head of that particular company or the board is Sami Jemfi, as you would already be aware. We are going to be speaking to Prince Kwame Minka in a bit to understand the reasoning behind this, but so it's a 9-paragraph statement that has been issued, and it says that these directives or these announcements to suspend all these licenses will take effect from 1st May 2025, and they say that it shall constitute a punishable offense for a person to purchase or deal in gold in the country without a license issued by the Ghana Gold Board. Now, all foreigners are also notified to exit the local gold trading market not later than 30th April 2025. My colleague Hansen Ajiman of the Citi Newsroom has been studying this particular communication from the Gold Board in detail, and he's in studio with me. Hansen, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. So this is a new creation by this government, and they're just a few weeks old or just a few months old, and now they have issued these very, very I'm not sure what I should say, very stern directives. Who are the targets?
So the targets are persons who deal in the selling, the buying, assaying, and exporting of gold produced by licensed artisanal and small-scale mining industry, persons in that field. So, per the promulgation of the Gold Board, the Gold Board is currently the sole buyer, seller, assayer, and exporter of all gold produced by the licensed and artisanal small-scale mining. And as a result of that, the Gold Board is seeking to streamline the processes so that any other person who will be engaging in the buying, selling, assaying, and exporting of gold will be doing so on the express permission of the Gold Board. As a result of that, the Gold Board has taken a decision to suspend all licenses that were issued to persons engaging in these activities as outlined. But for the purposes of smooth transition, the suspension of these licenses will not take immediate effect, but will take effect after 30th April. So from May 1, if anybody deals in the buying, selling, assaying, and exporting of gold without a license from the Gold Board, it would then be deemed as illegal as per the statement that we've received from the Gold Board.
So it's like a new king, new law kind of thing, and they said that it's going to take effect from 1st May. And I find it interesting. They are not targeting bigger mining companies.
Yes, they are not. So this directive relates to persons who deal with those who buy and sell gold and assay gold, as well as export goods relating to the licensed artisanal and small scale mining sector. And that is one of the major mandates of the Gold Board, which is supposed to be the sole buyer, seller, assayer, and exporter of all gold produced by licensed artisanal and small scale mining players. And so the directive is targeted towards persons who had been doing their business in this area.
Interesting. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. That's Hansen Ajiman with a summary of a statement that has been issued by the Gold Board, which is terminating the involvement of small-scale mining companies, artisanal miners, and all of the persons who have been in the gold value chain, specifically those who are not large companies who have been engaging in the sale and purchase of gold, including assaying. And there appears to be a termination. We'll be working the lines to see if we can get an interview from the Gold Board. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about that and other issues. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Go me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make I feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hello. That's Prince's deputy. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's get more reactions to this particular discussion, this issue that we've just gotten, the Gold Board statement that has been issued. Let's speak to the Small Scale Miners Association. Razak Al Hassan is a PRO. Mr. Al Hassan, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, my brother.
Have you seen this notification? What's your initial reaction?
Thank you for having me. Good evening to your good listeners. I saw it this afternoon, and as I went through it, I think the Gold Board is doing their own, their best. They are trying to formalize the system, especially the downstream, which is the trading aspect of it. And then before they can do that, these are some of the measures that they need to put on. So suspending or revoking licenses, but they've also given another time that by close of this month, everything will be done. Then we then apply for new licenses, those who want to trade in their business. So we don't think that it's any bad thing, because they've educated us a lot. They've explained their side of the story about the Gold Board. But per the first statement of it that I saw, that they were specific on small scale and then artisanal mining, but they were cautious about this large scale mining thing. So that is where so we don't understand a bit, but all the same we'll still prove further to understand it.
That's quite interesting, but generally the approach by this government, the Gold Board approach, what's your association's view?
The approach, I think they didn't hide it from day one. When they were even campaigning, they raised this issue, but we didn't know where it would be placed until the appointment of Sami Jelfi, who went to PMMC and then invited us as an association leadership. We went and sat down, and he made it categorically that Gold Board is coming to replace PMMC. And then he explained the government's point of view. We also contributed what we know, what we think. And then later on, he had a meeting with all the stakeholders involved, ourselves, which is the small-scale mining sector, the buyers, the exporters, the jewelers, and we all sat down, and then we look into it. That is when they formed a committee, a technical committee, to draft the bill. And then that committee, too, we were represented. And then from there, after they did whatever they want to do, they called us. We had a meeting with them. They explained whatever they went through. We even advised that they should disseminate it to the various regions, and they agreed. So they went through the eastern region, western region, central region, and even they went to Bolga and the rest. So so far, we cannot say we don't know anything about it, because we've been informed, and then we all digested, and we are still working hand in hand with them.
Interesting.
And then we are looking at how the whole thing will be.
Okay, good. Now, the next question would be, did you agree on this timeline? The 1st May is part of your agreement, so you knew that this was going to be the timeline, and you agree with it?
As for the timelines, I will not pretend that we know, because that one, we've not come with the timelines on how the revocation of licenses and those things, because we were still joying about the pricing, and then we need to look at it. I think even tomorrow, for instance, we are having a meeting as an association with the chief executive tomorrow, and then this thing came out this evening. And if you look at what came out, it's about the licenses. Those who acquired those licenses through the PMMC and then the minister, this is what they are telling everybody, that they should wrap up and make sure that by 22nd or 25th, everybody can start applying through the Gold Board to get their licenses. So I think not to waste time, not to allow businesses to stop. I think they just want to do it in a continuation form, so that at least you should be preparing yourself by 25th, all the applications that you need to put in, but they need to let us know, so that if somebody applied, whether online or come to them, what duration does it take, so that it will not.
So that there will be no, you will not waste a lot of time. Very well.
Exactly.
Again,
Exactly.
thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
You're welcome.
That's Razak Al Hassan. He's PRO of the Small Scale Miners Association. Let's go to the Gold Board now and speak to Zainab Al Hassan. She's, I believe, Deputy Media Relations Officer of Gold Board. Madam, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Did I get your designation correctly?
Thank you. Yes, you did.
Good.
You got it right. Thank you very much,
Fantastic. So talk to us more about the reasoning behind this statement that you issued tonight on the activities of Gold Board in relation to the sale and purchase and assaying of gold.
Okay, so ahead of Gold Board's business rollout with gold traders, first week of May, the operation takes effect. Gold Board's operation takes effect first week of May. So the press release is particularly about we are educating the gold buyers on what they are supposed to do, what they are supposed to be in the know. Their licenses, Gold Board is the sole agency responsible for giving licenses to traders. We are the sole entity buying gold and doing everything. I mean, everything that entails gold, we are supposed to be in charge. So whoever has a license, whichever gold trader has a license with PMMC will not be valid anymore. You would have to re-register through Gold Board. For now, all the licenses they have are in the name of PMMC. PMMC does not exist anymore. It's now Gold Board. So we are looking at 22nd of April. That will be the commencement of the application, the license application. So we are looking forward to all gold traders to start their licenses, to start renewing their licenses from 22nd of April onwards. And moreover, we've given a lot of details on the press release. So what we are saying is that all gold traders should abide by the rules and regulations the Gold Board entails from them. The Gold Board is expected from them. They are supposed to abide by it. We've had meetings with small scale miners, we've had meetings with a lot of gold dealers, and we've enlightened them a lot. So all we are saying is they have to stick by the rules and regulations in the press release and the talks we've had with them together.
Okay, I get it. Just clarify. So PMMC, as we know it, doesn't exist in law or in physical space. Which one is it? Is it that the company has been collapsed by government, or it is to be collapsed?
No, PMMC has been converted to Gold Board. So anything PMMC doesn't exist. So you've taken over PMMC. As in Gold Board has taken over PMMC. So Gold Board is an offshoot from PMMC.
I see.
Yeah.
But has PMMC ceased to exist completely, or it is subject to the date that you talked about, the 1st May date?
Gold Board starts its operation first week of May. So it takes effect from the first week of May.
Okay, so let me understand this again. Forget the change of name. Let's assume that you are still PMMC. You are simply saying that all the licenses we gave you, we have revoked them. So come and apply for new ones. Is that the new authorization? If I should understand it that way.
So yes, as stated in the press release, they have to renew their licenses. That is what we stated in the press release, and it begins from 22nd of April. So they should have it at the back of their mind that on the 22nd of April, they are going to renew their licenses.
With the new company called Gold Board.
With a new company called Gold Board.
Okay. I've just spoken to the Association of Small Scale Miners. They are concerned about the speedy nature of the new registration process. What is the assurance and guarantee that that time limit you've given them from 22nd to 30th April, they will be able to go through the registration so that business will continue as usual?
Yes. So with that regard, all I can say is they should just go and have their licenses done. They should go and have their licenses done because there may be further clarification to that effect.
Okay.
I hope you understand. There may be further clarification to that effect. It could be a time extension or something, which I am not too privy to. But all I can say is they should try their best to go and renew their licenses when the time is due.
These people who are coming for the renewal of license, they've been dealing with PMMC in the past. Is it the same physical address they're supposed to come to?
Exactly, the same physical address.
What is the consequence of not renewing the license?
It's punishable by law anyway, because the consequences is that if you have not renewed your license under Gold Board, your operation cease. You cease to operate.
Okay.
Automatically you cease to operate. Yes, because your license should be in the name of Gold Board. It shouldn't be in the name of any other entity apart from Gold Board. So if you are not registered under the entity, your license is not valid.
Is this for bulk sale of gold, or if I were, say, working in a mining area?
It applies to all gold dealers, irrespective of your category. Whether you are a tier 1 buyer, you are a tier 2 buyer, you're a self-financing aggregator, you're a main aggregator, it doesn't matter. All what is due of you is to have your license registered. That's all. To make it valid, to make your company valid. Else you may not be able to trade in gold. And if we find you trading in gold without a license issued by the Gold Board, you'll be in trouble. It's punishable, highly punishable.
Finally, let me bring the politics in there. What would you say to people who say you deliberately did this so you can weed out dealers who are not favorable to the governing party?
Oh, no, for this, I'm very sorry. I don't have an answer to this.
Thank you for speaking to us. Thank you for speaking to us.
You're welcome.
That's Zainab Al Hassan. She is a Deputy Media Relations Officer at Ghana Gold Board, also known as Gold Board. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let me bring some of your messages. So a number of headlines we are looking at. We're talking about Boko, and that's what David is talking about from Ejisu Krapa. And he says, good evening, Umaru. The government should stand firm on the Boko issue. Al Hassan Hamdan from Noini South said, when miscreants can shoot at a whole IGP vehicle with impunity, please give us a break, Minister. You have lost control, and the state of emergency will assist you to restore law and order in Boko. So that's in reference to what the regional minister has said. So Obama in Pokwasi says, you claim to be fighting Galamsey. Meanwhile, you have set up Gold Board as the only buyer of gold from small-scale miners who mostly are into Galamsey. This government must get serious. Enough of the political theatrics. Akapol Jr. in Havomim says the revocation of licenses is a microscopic way of tackling the Galamsey menace. Government must go further by doing what it promised to do when it was in opposition. That's declaring a state of emergency in all our forest zones. Tia Malik in Samini in the northeast region says the president of the land should find concrete solutions to the escalating issues in Boko. In fact, the situation is dire. This one from Echo Orchard in Chai Hills. He says, after all the recent mayhem in Boko, may I know what is so dreadful about the declaration of a state of emergency for the area that the regional minister is resisting it? Is it not the obvious and common sense thing to do? Kennedy Unipayade says it's good the Gold Board will now be in charge of licensing gold purchase. This will reduce irregularities in the system. John Labini from Saboba says the issue of Boko is now beyond control. I think a day should be set aside for a national prayer for the people of Boko. I also pray for God to intervene. This from Gastiman in Brekum. He says the Gold Board is just going to encourage more smuggling of gold that will drain the country, just like Cocoa Board. Because in simple economics, monopoly is always risky unless individuals want to benefit. This one says, I wholeheartedly support the government's move to revoke licenses for individuals buying and selling gold. This measure ensures a streamlined and regulated market. It's a message from Mausi Ayebi Esther from Abuja-Teti. This one's from Jones Aduboyinla. Says, I think this is a very good initiative coming from the Gold Board. This will ensure some sanity and regulation in the industry. Zilis Dwayne writes from London, and he says the Gold Board is a great initiative and it will really help the country. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let's do some more stories. And the Upper East Regional Minister Donatus Atamugri Atanga has debunked calls for a state of emergency in Boku following renewed violence in the area, saying the nature of the conflict does not warrant a state of emergency. Or the long-standing Boku conflict was recently reignited following a confrontation between police and some youth, leading to multiple fatalities, injuries, and the torture of the house of the Member of Parliament for the area. Now, following the recent disturbances, calls have intensified for a state of emergency to be declared in Boku, but the Upper East Regional Minister disagrees.
It has been referred to an eminent chief to handle, and then it is not like it is sporadic. Every day they are fighting on each other. It is some instance that sparks up an issue, then it is brought under control. And so, declaring state of emergency, it is not an all-war situation. So why will we declare state of emergency?
That was the Upper East Regional Minister Donatus Atamugri Atanga. Now, the Minority Caucus in Parliament has called on the government to expedite efforts to reconstruct the Edu market, which was recently gutted by fire. Well, according to the minority, the incident has severely affected the livelihoods of the traders, necessitating urgent government intervention. All the caucus, led by Minority Leader Alexander Apenyomakin, visited the affected traders and made a donation of 200,000 cities.
I take this opportunity to make a humble plea to the government of Ghana that, looking at the effects of the situation we find here, obviously the traders are suffering. We know the commitment government made in some other areas. We urge on government to take funds from the contingency fund and immediately and without delay come to the rescue of the suffering traders of Edu.
Blue light.
I know that those here at Blue Light, I believe that within a year, if government is indeed committed to constructing these stores, government will be able to do it.
That was Minority Leader Alexander Apenyo marking. Now, the Achimota Circuit Court has granted bail to Mohammed Amadou Zaku, a member of the New Patriotic Party NPP, arrested for allegedly falsely communicating the death of Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Mohammed Zaku was arrested on Saturday for making a Facebook post with a caption, "Rest well, Her Excellency," with crying emojis. Or the state deemed this post as a false information on the death of the Vice President, who has been unwell. According to government communications, Mohammed Zaku was granted bail with 2 sureties to the tune of 100,000 Ghana cedis following an application by his lawyers. Or he is also to report to the investigator once every week. The case has been adjourned to May 12 for case management conference.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Polytank, we did Polytank. Papa no no, 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 Alcasa. Polytank, the original, always the best.
Sewudru krum na wote yes charcoal toothpaste aya no ya hwe yie na obi amfa so kwan na no wa chenchena esane se charcoal toothpaste bebre ene wodwa so na so nya ni nyina na yema wo se titru mpo ni se wo nyini no bon ho modin se wo beto charcoal toothpaste a ye di bidia nkasa ye na enya dai kekene de agumu na wo de yin keka wa fi osimu na wo se nya hoden na se efita to charcoal toothpaste fluoride ewo mu na bo se ho ban na mana ye din da ekosi se obobo akokora na sa abrewa Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste die wo di bidie lemon mint ana zinc ana akabomu aye enti ma wo se ye din na wonum so ahwam de mu ni nyina Pepsodent die yenim no dada o enti wasan de bidie lemon ene mint akabomu aye die ene na kire se yesen adamfo no no ebem wonum ahwam na bo se ho ban afrika kan wa bia mu to Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste fetchu se na mo se ho ban abrebia.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. A group of teachers posted to the Ashanti region from various colleges of education in July 2024 have staged a protest at the Ghana Education Service headquarters in Accra. Well, the teachers say they are owed 7 months' salary arrears and are also facing unresolved identification related issues. While speaking to Citi News, some of the aggrieved teachers raised concerns about the toll the delay in payment is having on their livelihoods.
We are here because of our unpaid salary, meaning we have been in the service for 8 months, and some of us have received our salaries and others too haven't. That's why the group you see us here this morning, we are those who have not received our salaries here. They have taken the decision, so we are hoping for the best in the coming days.
I have been at post for the past 8 months without salary. I don't know why. So you contact the controller number and they will tell you your entrance form is not here. You go to your regionals and they will tell you different story. So we decided to come together as a team so that we will come to the Director General for the actual information. So we came and he gave us many information. For me personally, I'm not okay, but he said he will follow up, including the HR. So we are just hoping for the best.
Those were some affected teachers. Well, meanwhile, after a closed-door meeting with the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Ernest Kofi Davis, the group's leader, Adumako Kranche, stated that a committee has been set up to address their concerns.
We came here to make inquiries as to the delay in our salaries because there were also inconsistencies in the payment system or the validation system that exacerbated the situation. Because last year, December, some of us were validated with all our arrears, but the money didn't reflect in our respective account. And the worst of it all was in March that our names disappeared from the payment voucher. Yes, so we were added as missing staffs. So due to that, we've been to the district office, we've been to the regional office countless times. So the final decision that we took, and per the responses we had from the regional office, we need to come to the GS headquarters. So that is the reason why we came here and we engaged with the Director General as well. Frankly, the Director General assured us that they will work swiftly to resolve the situation. And upon that, they set up a committee which we are involved to fast track the resolution of our situation.
So are you satisfied?
Well, we aren't fully satisfied until the money hits our respective accounts.
That's Adumako Kranche, leader of the group of teachers posted to the Ashanti region in July 2024.
Well, there's a new government in town. In case you're not aware, we've had a changeover in the executive, the legislature, the judiciary. We're seeing a few things happening there. But the local government is still being formed, and there appears to be a big challenge at the local government level because a lot of the persons who have been nominated are either being rejected or there's some distraction happening by party supporters over the nomination. Now, we have a number of them that we'll be talking about. Let's speak to the party at the national level. Mustafa Gbande is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC in charge of operations, and he's also at the Jubilee House as a deputy in charge of operations. He's joining us on the line. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
It appears you didn't do enough operation for this your local government changeover because the rejections are too many.
Well, thank you very much and good evening to our cherished listeners. Indeed, I have seen a number of protestations from a number of constituencies. I can call of Pusiga, I can call of Mampong, and yesterday Tema. And this is out of about 120, 150, DC names being put out so far. And I think that if you check, this is the list of the number of protestations. None of these candidates have been rejected so far. You only have reactions within party faithfuls who believe that they preferred one candidate or the other. It's not news to our political culture to see, party people protesting because their favorite have not been nominated, one or the other. Again, it's just indicative of the fact that the determination and the commitment within the three shortlisted individuals to all serve in that position is very high, and all of these people have followers. And so if you mention one person's name, it's obvious that you are going to have some reaction from the other side. Mind you, a DCE position doesn't have a deputy and also doesn't have an assistant. It is just one position. Quite a lot more people have seen. We have places where 20 up to 20 people, express desire to be DCs. We shortlisted from there, and then it came to national. Not such a mean person on the committee is still the national chairman, the general secretary himself, a respectable woman, Madame Valerie Soya. You have Honorable Bejra, the Minister for Gender, the Minister for Local. All these caliber of people on that committee cannot do a shoddy work. And so it is not because the candidate nominated or announced fall short of acceptance or ability to work. It is just because we have interest, and the interest goes beyond one particular individual up to about 3 people. And we've just won election, the expectation is so high, and so people will definitely do what they do. But it's not news. It's not a new thing. We've seen this year in, year out. We've seen this government upon government. And I must say that this regime, at the least of revolts, internal disaffection, the least of internal disaffection since its inception and since we won election, we have been able to keep a very optimal in terms of human reactive temperature and understanding within the state. We have been able to contain the level of revolt among party people, and so we are not surprised that this is coming back. We will engage and de-escalate the tension, and then we are good to go. But I must assure you that every list that is announced by the local government minister under the instruction of the president, that person will be nominated, will be confirmed, and that person will be the DCE for us to move on.
Okay, now, but specifically on the issues of vandalism, destruction, and all of that, how is the party dealing with it?
No, it's not new. It's not new. It's a nuisance that is associated to political parties and formation of government. This is how people can vent, and once they vent, the most important thing is that if you understand political management properly, these things must come out for you to get to know so that you deal with them. And so we are in these positions because problems will come and we have to resolve the problem. Thank God the very people who are doing it are party people, and so they get engaged, and most times they regret their actions. And so we'll continue to engage because it is their right, hoping that their candidate will be chosen. Don't forget that there are other larger majority members who have not reacted at all. Possibly they may have fallen into the group or the category of people who have been announced, and so they are not reacting. So the fact that a handful of people are reacting doesn't in itself mean that there is a shoddy work or there's a rejection on the ground. It's just a normal...
But the handful you refer to has caused massive damage and destruction and has got the attention of everybody. So that cannot be a handful.
Well, they have caused destruction, yes, but this is the minimal side of it in the history of this country. And no one is saying that it's new. It's not news. It's been happening. And
will you have them arrested as a party?
We will not arrest who? People have gone. They have not destroyed Ghana property. They've destroyed party property. It's our own property. They are reacting and they are venting their anger, and they've destroyed our own property. It is for us to go internally and deal with the issues at that level. I don't think that the issues have gotten out of hand that we would need a government of Ghana to come in. It's still a party matter, and I'm saying that it is within their right as party members to vent. It is within the authority of the president and the party to choose a candidate. The candidate that is chosen will stand. People will react, but at the end of the day, we need to engage. You don't need each and every one to take some nominations, hook, line, and sinker. They all have people they believe in. And these persons believe that they are best fit to be DCs. If you don't get it, it means that some considerations have been given above you, and we are good to go. We'll move on. We'll bring everybody together and move on.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mus.
We are very grateful, sir.
That's Mustafa Agbande. He's Deputy General Secretary of the NDC in charge of operations. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's talk about your electricity and water now. The PURC approved last week new tariffs for the ECG, Electricity Company of Ghana, and the Ghana Water Company. So the electricity tariffs have been increased by 14.75% and water 4.02%. Why did the PURC approve this? Dr. Eric Obute is head of research and corporate affairs at the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Umaru. I hope you're doing well.
I'm well, except that the reset, you have reset my pockets. I mean, we are in difficult times, we are crying, and then you just approve these killer tariffs?
It is well. No, it's not a killer tariff per se. Thank you very much for having me on the show. And yes, last week, PURC approved electricity tariffs by 14.75% increase in electricity bill and 4.02% increase in water bills. And it's dependent on those four parameters, which I believe you know about already. Basically, the generation mix between the thermal and the hydro, inflation, exchange rate, and the fuel cost. So those are basic things which we use to determine tariffs on the minor level. We have two tariff windows, as you know. We have the major tariff and then the minor tariff, which is done on a quarterly basis. So for the quarterly tariffs, these are the four things that we considered. And also, there was a backlog of about 976 million cedis, which the commissioners in their best wisdom decided that we should apply 50% of that to the current tariff. That's how come up. We have this 14.75% increase in the electricity tariffs.
What was the level of consultation before this approval?
Well, in the minor tariffs, we don't normally do consultations. Because we adjust for those factors. And previously, we used to call it automatic tariff formula. So it was meant to be automatic on a quarterly basis, just to restore the tariff that we gave at the major tariff of 2022. In September 2022, we did a major tariff, and these quarterly tariffs are just to make sure that we maintain the value of that major tariff of 2022. So we do not normally consult with these ones. We only apply the necessary parameters that would change or make the tariff restore to the earlier value. And we get figures from the Bank of Ghana in terms of exchange rate, the inflation we get from the statistical service, the generation mix we get from the electricity market oversight panel. And those are the figures that we use. PURC, we don't generate any of the figures. We just use those ones to crunch into our formula that we do have, and we channel the figures that have to be paid.
I do know that there's some quarterly review of tariffs. Does it mean that in the next quarter we should also see some further increases based on all the calculations that you have so far?
That I cannot speak to. It will all depend on these particular four parameters that I spoke of. Mind you, this year, 2025, is when the 3-year major tariff ends. So this 2025, we are supposed to undertake a major tariff. But the major tariff will take care of both capital expenses and operational expenses. But the minor tariff takes care of only the operational expenses. And as it stands now, I cannot determine whether in the next tariff window there will be an upward adjustment or a downward review of the tariffs. I really don't know how it will go. It will be dependent on the factors that come to play.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
My pleasure.
But before you go, there are times that we see an increase, and then we also see the government offering some relief to customers and consumers. Does the PURC play any role in that, or that's entirely up to government to decide whether it wants to cushion consumers?
Exactly so. PURC does this work independent of what the government does. So if the government decides to cushion consumers, That is entirely different from what PURC does. But the commissioners, in their wisdom, as I said, we could have pushed through the entire arrears of 976 million. The commissioner could have said, apply the full 976 million for us to recoup whatever it is that is outstanding. But they realized that the impact on consumers would be too much. So in their best wisdom, they said, apply only 50% of it, and the rest 50% will be spread over the quarters of the year.
Thank you for speaking to us.
A pleasure, boss.
That's Dr. Eric Obuti. He's Head of Research and Corporate Affairs at the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Akosia.
The Wager Municipal Assembly has announced that measures are being implemented to safeguard lives and property ahead of the anticipated spillage of the Wager Dam. In an interview with Citi News, Municipal Director Bernard Ngura revealed that a stakeholder meeting is scheduled for Wednesday to discuss and outline the necessary modalities ahead of the spillage.
So if you have experienced it before, then you should be very cautious of the moment in which we are and the advice given. And I know that as this is a planned spillage, but not one that would take the Ghana water by storm, certainly measures should be put in place for it to be a controlled one so that they will get the levels they want without necessarily impacting adversely to other settlements. People whose activities are within areas where inundation of flowing water could be affected should be able to stay away, especially those who work along the banks of the water bodies. They don't have to be taken by surprise. They should. And I know that after the stakeholder meeting, more efforts would be sent down to warn people, because people are farming. Maybe they are farms. A canoe might be crossing without knowing that the tides are coming. So the days for spillage, the timetable should also come out very well. And then if possible, there should be occasional announcements by vans for people not to encounter wrath of the running water.
You heard that the Wager Municipal Director Bernard Mats Iyungura. Now, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly AMA has raised concerns over the government's contract with the Jospon Group of companies for fumigation exercises. Well, according to the AMA, many of these contracts are executed without the involvement of key assembly actors. It further notes the absence of field evidence to back reports submitted by the waste management firm Zoomlion Ghana on these exercises. Well, the Director of Public Health at the AMA, Florence Kuchi, has been speaking on this issue.
All these contracts are always signed at the blind side of the implementers. So most of the times, even you are just there and they'll bring you a report. We've done this, we've done that. They don't involve you in whatever they do. They only bring you a report to sign as a witness. You can decide to sign, you can decide not to sign, but whatever it is, they will be paid. So that is why we are hammering much on the review and the repackaging of the SIP contract, so that we, the implementers, actors, will also have a say in it. Whatever they are doing, our faces are following them. If they are doing it right, we will know. If they are not doing it right, we will know. It is there. But I have never witnessed one fumigation. That is the issue. But always they bring reports of fumigations that they've done.
That was Director of Public Health at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Florence Kuchi, she was interacting with members of Parliament's Sanitation and Water Resources Committee. The Director of Waste Management Services at the AMA, Solomon Noi, has announced plans to review the Assembly's bylaws to formally incorporate informal waste collectors into its sanitation improvement agenda within the Accra metropolis.
We must start from the end point, which is getting the infrastructure where they will be sending these source-separated waste to. So definitely, we are incorporating them into our scheme by reviewing our bylaw and then making sure that we train them and give them regulations. Then only is when Those who are not part of the cooperative will treat them as maybe guru boys, and then because they are not prepared to come under a regulation, then we'll change them out of. Then we'll deal with only the cooperative heads.
Director of Waste Management Services at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly AMA, Solomon Noy. Now, the National Tenants Union of Ghana is calling on the Ministry of Works and Housing to immediately suspend the National Rental Assistance Scheme, citing numerous flaws in its implementation. While in an open letter, the union urged the minister to halt the scheme and convene a broader stakeholder engagement to review the policy, highlighting concerns related to exclusion and transparency. While speaking to Citi News, the union's General Secretary, Frederick Opoku, raised concerns about the lack of proper accounting for current beneficiaries of the scheme.
As we speak, we have not been able to account how many people have benefited from this policy or from this scheme. We suspect and we are aware that not less than 10,000 Ghanaians have been denied. And multiply 100 cities by 10,000 and thereabouts. What are you talking about? For us, we see it as more or less extortion, criminalized, and that we don't agree. Where people have to pay 100 Ghana cities, and you know very well that you're not going to get money. If you put all these things together, we think that there's a need for government to call for a broader stakeholder engagement and heed to their principle of reviewing the scheme alongside.
You heard the General Secretary of the National Tenants Union of Ghana, Frederick Opoku.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Hello there, welcome to Citi Business News and Eyewitness News. I am Akusia Oche. The details. The government of Ghana has rejected Goldfield's application to extend its demand mining lease, instructing the company to cease operations and also vacate the site by April 18, 2025. Or the decision communicated by the Minerals Commission has cast uncertainty over the future of one of the country's key gold mining operations. Here's more.
The leading global gold producer, Goldfields, in a statement disclosed that the lease extension request was submitted in December 2024, despite what it describes as an extensive engagement with authorities and full compliance with all statutory requirements. The company says it was notified of the rejection and is now preparing to shut down operations at Daman. Although the company is working to safely wind down activities, the sudden closure could result in significant job losses and economic disruptions for surrounding communities that depend on the mine. Goldfields says it remains in ongoing discussions with the government to find a mutually beneficial path forward. This development is presenting a mixed reaction, with some industry watchers warning that the decision could dampen investor confidence in Ghana's mining sector, while others have called for a sweeping review of Ghana's mining laws and agreement. Meanwhile, the Minerals Commission has framed the move not as a setback, but as a turning point for Ghana's natural resource management. According to the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission, Isaac Andrews Tando, this decision offers Ghana a rare opportunity to redefine the trajectory of its extractive industry and assert greater national control over its mineral wealth.
That's a business desk report filed by Emmanuel Paul, the Citi Business Desk. Now, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has cautioned that consumers should expect a rise in the cost of goods and services following newly announced utility tariff adjustments. Well, starting May 3, 2025, electricity tariffs will increase by 14.75%, while water tariffs will go up by 4.02%. While CEO of the chamber, Mark Bedu-Abuaje, tells Citi Business News that a hike will worsen the already difficult business climate.
Any typical business will use water and electricity at any particular time. So we have water going up, we have electricity going up. the cost of production definitely will go up. And already we are not competitive both locally and internationally. So if you are adding up to cost, we are pricing businesses in Ghana out of the market. And when this happens, three things will happen. One, either the businesses will decide to transfer the entire cost to the consumer. Two, they can decide to share the cost, the increment. And three, businesses can also decide to bear the cost if their cost structure will allow that. But looking at the current cost structure of all businesses, I don't think any business will be able to absorb the electricity of 14.75 and water of 4.0. What will happen is that a chunk, if not all, of this increment will be passed on to consumers. So I think that once they start, as a country, we should all brace ourselves out for an increase in prices of goods and services. Businesses cannot bear this cost.
Mark Bedu Abwaje also disclosed that there was no prior consultation with the chamber regarding the tariff review, adding that there are intentions to formally engage the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) on this matter.
Ideally, they should have consulted the business community before increasing these tariffs, both water and electricity. From what I said, they have not been consulted. So this is an arbitrary decision that they have taken. And the consumers should also be relevant to whatever decisions that they are taking. So we have a series of discussions. We are going to engage PURC. We are going to issue a statement very soon. And if the opportunity is given to us, we will engage them and raise the other issues that we are concerned about. If they had engaged us, obviously, we would be able to come out with a proposal.
That was Mark Bedu Abwaje, the CEO of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Now, the government is assuring of its commitment to growing the business sector, targeting the establishment of over 600 enterprises by the end of President John Mahama's 4-year term. Now, the government's goal aligns with the upcoming Kwehu Business Forum on Saturday, April 19, 2025, which will serve as a platform for engagement between financial institutions and the private sector. Our Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, in a press briefing said the forum has the potential to inject capital into the economy and also create long-term jobs.
A lot of funds are going to come into the economy because once a business starts, it stimulates the local economy where the company will be the business is started and people get employed, they get money and they pay their taxes, they buy other products from other people, and then our economy is stimulating and growing. And so I think what he intends achieving is that he wants to grow businesses. He wants to be remembered for one thing, that during his tenure, at least, if for nothing at all, he brought up the conversation, invited business people, and asked them to start something. Not just starting, but encouraging banks to give them the necessary support so that we will develop our nation. At least each of the banks that will show up are going to pick 5 projects, 5 bankable projects for this year. And they expect that next year when we return to Kwehu, they will invite those 5 people that they helped or assisted to come and testify.
That was Chief of Staff Julius Debra. Now, before we go, the Vehicle and Assets Dealers Union of Ghana, VADUC, is urging the government to fast-track a comprehensive financing policy that allows banks to offer credit to vehicle buyers. Well, they also raised concerns over high taxes at the port, saying charges by the Ghana Revenue Authority's Customs Division are burdening importers and consumers. There's more on this report by Daniel Ojuro-Mensah.
If you're a customer attempting to clear your vehicle at the port, be prepared to pay over 20 different charges, including duties and various levies. These include import duty, import VAT, a GHS disinfection fee, the COVID-19 health recovery levy, vehicle examination fees, and the African Union import levy, among others. In addition to insurance and freight charges, customers are required to pay levies based on the first purchase price of the original model year of the vehicle, regardless of its actual year of purchase. Vehicles older than 5 years attract an additional 50% penalty based on the original purchase price. However, brand new vehicles of not more than 6 months are exempt from depreciation-related penalties. Commenting on the situation, the Executive Secretary of the Vehicle and Asset Dealers Union of Ghana stressed the need for the government to review and remove what he described as obnoxious taxes to ease the burden on consumers.
Now, when you go in there, we have GHS disinfection fee. We have special levy, special import levy of 2%. The special import levy, what is it still doing now? Okay, it came to tackle a special purpose. Okay, and is that purpose, special purpose of the special vehicle still running? We need to integrate some of these things.
The Executive Secretary also stressed the importance of fast-tracking the development of a financing policy that will allow financial institutions to support customers in purchasing vehicles.
So the auto financing policy, as we know in other countries, is very simple. As a young man, if you're working, you should be able to walk into a dealership with probably zero balance in your account, or a proper bank statement, or a proper, what do you call it? Work appointment letter, you know, well identified, you understand, in order for you to just walk in and say, okay, I want to buy a vehicle. What goes into it? You have proper finance houses that will pre-finance these for you.
The Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana has thrown its support behind the union's call, also advocating for financing options. The association argues that such initiative would reduce the country's dependence on older vehicles and promote the use of newer, more efficient models. Samson Asakia Wingobet is the executive secretary for the association.
Until government prepare or government propose a policy whereby a young worker can, both whether private or government, can walk to any of the automobile company, purchase a car, and maybe pay 20% down, and the rest of 15% down, and the rest you spread it over years. Then we will all start to be driving brand new. Nobody is enjoying driving old age cars.
You heard that the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Asakia Wingobet, and then that report filed by Daniel Oduro Mensah. Well, that's how we wrap up the Monday edition of the Citi Business News. On Eyewitness News, I am Makusia Ontre.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel where I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
97.3 Citi FM is a station. My name is Umaru Sandamado. This is Eyewitness News. We would have been going for point blank because it's 26 minutes past 6 rather, and it's time for us to bring you point blank. But we're not bringing you point blank today. Instead, we have a football match, and you do know that at Citi FM we have the right to bring you games from the English Premier League, and tonight we have another very, very important one which we are going to cross over to bring you. But before then, our man on the bridge would be Bernard Abeku Ochre, the man who's been begging me to leave not to leave Manchester United.
That's true.
Because he's supporting a sinking Titanic. He's here with me.
If United gets to the championship, it's, you see, when we say United, we say for life.
But I know what's paining me. Arsenal, they won something, right? No, but like, no, I'm genuinely.
You want to get me into trouble?
No.
You know why? Yesterday we were discussing the Arsenal bit, and our boss sent me a message trying to explain why Arsenal should be second, and there's nothing wrong with Arsenal being second a year ago and still wanting to be second this year. And it seems they are loving the second
Tell
spot.
him that he's the one who has told me that nobody remembers who came second in the EPL 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Tell him.
Oh, as you have said it, that's all.
Yeah. No, but say it yourself.
No, as you have said it.
You know Gabi Ochidako.
Yeah.
Gabi Asaro Ochidako. He's a lover of Arsenal. He put up something on Facebook that I want to read for you.
Okay.
He said, if Arsenal are not interested in contesting to the end in an EPL title race, then we should get out of the way early and allow others. Nonsensical nonsense. No repeat. Okay, also there. If Arsenal are not interested in contesting to the end in an EPL title race, then we should get out of the way early and allow others. Nonsensical nonsense.
Nobody is going to remember that club that's placed second and got a lot of money and is running properly because there is solid financial backing or there's financial stability or what have you. People are going to remember the most successful club in the history of the game, and it comes with laurels. And if you are not picking that, what you doing?
But you see, so the Arsenal problem, I don't seem to get it. It's like every season they begin so well, so high, and that's the point he's making. I don't get it. Why is that they go far and then just like Arsenal starts well and never ends well?
I've said this, people do not agree, but I feel Arsenal are not tough mentally.
No,
why do I say
so why do
this?
they start well?
Yeah, because it looks like they can do it. They go on top of the table.
Then Vim Nasa.
Yeah, all of a sudden they begin to label injuries as one of their problems. Look, if you want to be a champion, you must accept the negatives that comes with being a champion, because rehearsing a lot and getting your mind in tune with wanting to be a champion makes you a champion.
Do they have a manager problem like we have?
No, they do not have a manager problem.
Do they have a player problem? Do they not have proper players?
I feel they have proper players, but I feel, it's part of the technical setup. There's somebody in there on that technical setup who's not doing his job, to the apex.
Or their oracle told them that after you, they never win the title.
We saw Leicester City in that season when they won the trophy. It was the mental that's mental toughness that got them to win the trophy. As for the monk and what he came to do, those things, it was psychological to put the players up there that look, you've been well arranged, you've been cleared of any negative, and you have to go in and win the title. And that's mental. That's building the mental capacity to let you think like a champion. So they go into the game with a bit of arrogance. Like, look, even if you're Manchester United, we are coming at you. We are the Foxes, and we are going to make sure we shut the Red Devils. But now you have the gun and you are not shooting.
No, the gun be this thing there inside though. If you see the you Cape Coast Castle.
Yeah.
Them
old, the one
cannon.
Yeah.
So ball, no, the ball is the cannon ball is what they put in the cannon. And if you look at Arsenal, it's not really it's a cannon, right? But the ball worrying and so if you put it right, it doesn't shoot. It sounds pay instead of boom. So that's the problem. It's sad. I mean, but
it is.
Anyway, what's happening tonight?
We have two managers who are in pole position for the manager of the month, if not for the season, for what they are doing. They both got promoted into the Premiership 2022-2023 campaign, and they want to go at this and make sure they finish well. They have good records. The managers are performing nicely. It's a beautiful fixture to the Bournemouth Fulham at the Vitality Stadium, and we are going to have a great one, because if you want all the latest in the Premier League, this is the dial for you to get all of that.
Indeed, and that's Bernard Abekochi. I'll be leaving you in his hands. Good night, everybody. Enjoy the game.